Hi, I'm Mike Gambardella, and welcome into the newest episode of Pat's Latest. Before we get into your Patriots rundown, make sure you subscribe to our channel, get into our comments, and let us know what you think about our previous episodes, and give us a like if you like what you hear. Today, we'll be talking about the NFL's new salary cap, the Patriots actually cutting a starter before the new league year, a potential big time free agent now available, and talking about if Boston sports athletes actually need more media training than they're currently getting. We'll jump right into it and start over with the NFL salary cap as it is going up, and that is good news for the Patriots. Now, this doesn't mean necessarily more money that they're getting, but more of Robert Kraft's money that they can spend. The NFL salary cap is going to go up to about 277.5 million to upwards of 281.5 million, depending on a myriad of factors that could change. But it's gonna go up and increase by over 53 million from last year's cap of 255.4. So what that means now is that the New England Patriots are going to have somewhere in the ballpark of 124 to 128 million dollars to spend on players once March 12th starts. That means both free agent dollars that they can spend, and they likely will need to do that in excess to convince free agents to come up to New England. Yes, it's cold here. It's not Miami. It's not California. It's not Texas. You're going to come in. You're going to be part of building something. They're going to have to sell these free agents, and they're going to have to pay the extra to get them in the door. They will have that ability, having more than any other team in the NFL, and I believe almost 30 million more than the Las Vegas Raiders have as well. Now, again, if you're asking, do you want to go to Las Vegas or New England? I think it's a fairly easy decision. If you're asking if you want to play for Mike Vrabel or Pete Carroll, that's a tougher decision. Do you want to play with Drake May or quarterback question mark? Now you start to see where the Patriots may have that leg up and get more of the advantage when you're able to offer more of those free agent dollars. One asterisk to put on this, they will need to keep a portion of that to pay their rookies as well. That factors into this too. So keep that in mind as the Patriots start to make pitches for these NFL free agents and start to fill holes on their lineup. Speaking of holes, a shocker in that the Patriots have actually cut a player and a starter from last year's team, as they have officially released linebacker Takitaki. He only spent 1 year with the team, was one of the players that Elliott Wolf prioritized in bringing in on the defensive side of the ball last season. He unfortunately only appeared in 11 games and made just 4 starts as he was dealing with injuries and did not acclimate to the scheme as quickly as they thought he may have. What this move does is clears another $1.84 million in free agent salary cap, and what the Patriots will be able to move around with those. Additionally, what this means for Mike Vrabel is showing that he's able to flex some of his personnel muscle up front and show that he's not afraid in moving on from guys quickly, even if they just came to the team last year. It was one of Elliott Wolf's guys, and it's a sign of changing the defensive alignment, right? What Mike Vrabel wants to do and having the fits, the edges, going to really pressure off the sides, and those versatile linebackers in the middle, which Takitaki would maybe fall in more of that thumper category. And with Juwan Bentley already in the fold and Jonathan Devay as well, he did become a bit of a redundant player in that as well. So, quickly moving on from a starter from last year's team, expect to see many more changes coming from Mike Vrabel in the near future. Additionally, we talked about those free agent dollars and how you can spend. Well, there's going to be a big, both impressive and size-wise, in Trey Smith, the right guard from the Kansas City Chiefs, has been blocking up front for Patrick Mahomes for several seasons and has gone from a late round draft pick to one of the top offensive linemen in the league. What this is being flagged as, and he really is available, is because of the news that the Chiefs are not planning to franchise or even transition tag Trey Smith. this would have gotten into the scenario with what we saw in T. Higgins, where you really control his future and you're able to either get him a 1-year tag deal, keep him on the roster, either extend him out, or own the rights in the sense that you would actually get a draft pick for the Patriots, be forced to do that. The reasons the Chiefs do not do this is because offensive line is really grouped as a whole, and tackles start to drive that price up, and the guards and centers being looped in together, you end up paying a real premium for those tags either way. The Patriots have previously felt comfortable doing this, whether it was Joe Thuney most recently, because you're able to keep a guy under control and say, hey, this is actually worth it for what we're getting here. The Chiefs making that decision, and now the Patriots with the opportunity to say, hey, we have the free agent dollars to spend in this situation. It'll be interesting to see if Elliott Wolf and Mike Vrabel prioritize Trey Smith, but good to see that there is a priority offensive lineman now available and not bogged down by those transition or franchise tags. Again, an interior lineman, which is a little bit less of a need, but anything you can get to help up front at this point is good news for Drake May. Additionally, and we'll wrap up here today, talking about Christian Gonzalez and more overarching about what Boston athletes are saying recently. It started with actually the Boston Red Sox beginning spring training here in just a day on Friday. And with the addition of Alex Bregman coming in, the signing for the Red Sox, and kind of the same of what the Patriots will do in their signings, the Red Sox are doing it this as well. And players beginning to sound off. Bregman, a third baseman. Suddenly it puts Rafael Devers, the starting third baseman, who they paid handsomely, saying, I'm the third baseman. I'm not playing anywhere else, which is probably not the right answer or what you would want to hear out of him. And the first baseman, Tristan Casas, backing him up and saying he doesn't want to see any of the young guys there. Again, maybe not the things you want to hear immediately, but maybe honesty is the best policy. In this instance, it's getting them into a little bit of trouble, and Christian Gonzalez may be biting off a little bit recently in his latest podcast appearance, and he was asked about Gerard Mayo and his coaching style and now having Mike Vrabel in, and he was asked, did you like Gerard Mayo? And he said, I did like him as a coach. He did. He thought they did him, quote unquote, a little dirty. They only gave him 1 year, but it's business. We're going to see what Vrabes, he called him, will do. And pressed a little bit further, are you going to have the same defensive coordinator? And he said, no, they got rid of him too, quote unquote. They damn near cleaned house. Again, very honest about it. It is tough to only get a year, and, for a younger player to see a lot of changeover, going from Bill Belichick, where you remove the coach, keep most of the staff the same, and install somebody else, and now doing the exact opposite, where it's remove the entire staff at this point, but bringing back somebody who is familiar, in Mike Vrabel. So Christian Gonzalez going through a lot here. You maybe wanted to hear him just kind of give the company line of, we're excited for what Coach Vrabel will bring to the table after a down year, 4-13, by the way, and now the number 4 overall pick in the draft. We want to get back to our winning ways and culture. You're starting to see a shift a lot in the media and a lot of what players and athletes are doing, because you have these forums, what we're on right now. You can go on YouTube, you can go on a podcast and speak your truth and be able to say what you feel about the situation that you're currently in. The difference is I'm not getting paid millions of dollars to sit here and talk to you about it. Christian Gonzalez is, Rafael Devers is, Alex Bregman is. So, again, where it's interesting to see their candor and what they truly feel about these situations, at the end of the day, you might want to see these guys start to do what's best in the interest of the team, and maybe not what's best in the interest of them sharing a little bit and maybe humanizing themselves in these situations, maybe put the team first. Again, it's the offseason. There's not a ton to talk about. It is good to see the humanized side, the personal side of these guys. It'll be better to see if they're able to back it up on the field when it comes down to it at the end as well. That'll do it for us on this episode of Pat's Latest. Again, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Go back and check out our previous episodes, as we have covered everything the offseason has to offer, especially getting into the new league year, less than 3 weeks away now. And then after free agency, really going all hands on deck into the NFL draft and seeing this Patriots roster really turn over and change into what hopefully will be a playoff team come later in 2025. As always, thanks for joining us and fight on, Foxborough.